Hello, everyone. Quick disclaimer for the beginning of the episode. Please do not harm, attack, or threaten, harass, or anything of the sort anyone that may be discussed in today's podcast. If you know who it is that I am referring to in certain parts, please just keep it to yourself. It's not necessary for it at all to be revealed or anything like that. Today's episode is strictly for business as far as history is concerned. It's not about attacking anybody. It's not about going after anyone. It's not about harassment. It's not about any of that. And I would hope that none of you would do such a thing. I believe in all of you because those that watch my podcast are usually pretty safe people and they're pretty good people. So I continue to believe in you for that matter. The podcast is just going to be talking about what led up to the T-boards and the history behind it and a lot of the stuff that happened in the past. Under no circumstances do I want you guys doing anything harmful or anything like that to yourself or anyone else. Please. I just ask that you guys please be good and just remember this is just a conversation. It's not a rally cry for any attacks or anything. So, thank you, and I believe in all of you. So, now that that's been said, please enjoy the podcast. All right, and we are back with part 2 of the podcast. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the Mean Girls era, right? So, a lot of the Mean Girls era has to do with the T-boards. The T-boards is probably one of the major things with the community at the moment, and where a lot of the issues and problems come about in the community. What you guys probably don't know is that the Mean Girls era really solidified itself in the 2020s, because of the fact that of the pandemic. But the T-boards, which is one of the major issues about the community, happens to come about roughly around the 2015s, 2013s eras. Let's say give it a 3-year time period between 2013 and 2016. And we're going to talk about what essentially led up to the community getting to that. In the early days of the fetish community, there was Return to Sender on FetLife. That was kind of like your early T-boards, where people would post the creepy messages they would get from other people on FetLife and just talk about it or give some type of commentary. It was never any doxing or anything like that, and no one really knew who anybody was talking about. But this grew into something else later on. Some boards would have warning boards, like there are kink warning boards where people put up warnings about people in their local communities and stuff like that. That usually appears on like places like Facebook. There are a lot of warning communities on Facebook, really. However, as you like, warning boards were something in the early 2010s and mid 2010s that was really important because it helped people be able to, it helped out the vetting system. T-boards, on the other hand, started more so developing T-boards started more developing in the ABDL community due to something else, due to a particular group of people. If you go back into the history of the community, you can kind of directly tie it into this group of people. This was Abdulia. Abdulia was an event that happened, 2014, between 2014 and 2016. And the people that ran it were essentially the popular kids on YABDL, which is Young ABDL 18 to 35. This is a group that's on FetLife, and it originally started like these popular kids were essentially the ones that posted the most on that board. They were all friends. Most of them were moderators for the board too. But their behavior over time started to get a lot out of control, where they would go on to different boards and bully people, and like on in different groups. Like they would go to personal ag groups for ABDL and just bully random people that they saw fit to. And they would just be complete and total assholes to them because they thought it would be fun. The bullying got really out of hand over time, because they even at one point bullied a person that seemingly had a mental disability along with being blind, and they thought that it would be cool to bully that person a lot. There are two instances that I remember of this happening with this one particular person. The first time is in the before times when the group was very anti-trans, and then the after times when they had become more trans accepting. And you'll notice that the bullying stayed the same, but the comments that were made changed. I know you're like, wait, they were anti-trans at one point and then they became pro-trans? Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And actually, it's kind of funny. That transition is actually where we're going to focus on, because that transition is where the T-boards actually came about. Okay, so the Abdulia group was called Abdulia based on an event that they were hosting in the Colorado desert. These group of people were, like I said, the popular kids. These group of people are different people now. However, this is pre them becoming sex workers. So yeah, I know you're like, wait, they're still out there today? Yes, they're still out there today, but they are completely different people. Some of them are anyway. Some of them are very different people from who they used to be. And I am very appreciative of that. They're really awesome people now compared to the people they used to be. Continuing on. One of the biggest things I will point out is that the group itself was very anti-trans when it first started. A lot of the models in there were ABDL in reality, and like enjoyed ABDL. But then they would let some of their cringy, edgy 16-year-old sides come out and say, why are there so many, like, black people in this community? There shouldn't be any black people because this is a white kink. I'm not joking. That was actually something that was said at one point. I know, because I was a part of the group and I used to hang out with these popular kids. A lot of them will probably be like, I don't remember him being a part of the group. That's because I went under a different name at the time. It was before the Kid Ankh moniker became as popular as it is now. Again, yeah, they essentially used to share views that were really shitty like that. Very like anti-trans, and like had anti-trans views, and would post some of the most egregious shit and then bully like trans people in the community. It was really fucking gross behavior. They held their own event called Abdulia. Abdulia was an event that happened in the Colorado desert in a small, I'm going to even say, let's say a large cabin. A large cabin in the Colorado desert, and people had to pay to go to this event. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the tickets were like $100 or something like that. You had to bring your own snacks and whatnot. And the people that were hosting it were, again, the popular kids on YABDL. The Abdulia group, when they started doing this event, would essentially treat people like shit. Like, unless you were attractive by their standards, they really treated you like you were an 11 from fucking Code Geass. And essentially, like, you were, like, fourth-tier citizen. And several times there were comments that were made on YABDL where they straight out said as much. Where they were like, yeah, we only let the attractive people hang out with us. I mean, mind you, this event wasn't even really that safe because people were able to take pictures and shit. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, there are still pictures of two of the people that were a part of that group scissoring each other with a Hitachi between them. If I'm not mistaken, because that happened at one of the events. Yeah, it's not the way it should have been. It's not the way it should have been. And it was very much, I don't know why they invited other people when they themselves only really cared about themselves. Why not just make it a get together for just their group? I never understood that. But they very much had prejudicial views. There were people that were denied the ability to go on prejudicious points, in some cases very racist points. And I know some people were like, well, I've seen pictures before and there were black people there. Just understand this. If they were attracted to said black people, they were perfectly fine with them. If they had known the certain black people or thought that they were cute, that automatically made them okay to go. You're okay as long as we have some type of attraction to you. Some of them will say that's not true. It's very much true, and they actually said as much on the board. So I don't know why anyone would try to deny that. If they do, I'm just heading that off. It very much was prejudicial. And even when they say it wasn't, it was. And there are more posts about this on, like, you can find posts about this on Adis and FetLife. People would talk about this all the time and how much they hated going to the event because they paid money and only to be ostracized at the event. It was really shitty. They didn't try to introduce or become friends with anybody else. They found everyone else to be beneath them. This type of behavior over time really pushed people the wrong way, especially a group of trans ABDL in the community who ended up creating their own board and just started spewing tea about those people on their board. Over time, the people of YABDL would find this board and actually see the stuff that was posted on it, and they would start getting really offended because there was just a whole bunch of tea and people saying all these things about them, and then they would fly off the handle and go on FetLife and start screaming about something that no one else saw but them. And the thing is that it had it was both a positive and negative effect here. I know I'm playing devil's advocate for this one. So to really explain the positive and negative effects, we really have to talk about, was it effective? Yes, it was. A lot of the sex workers that were a part of this, remember, they weren't sex workers at the time. They became sex workers afterwards. And it's actually kind of funny because they used to have negative connotations and thought processes about sex workers. They used to talk shit about sex workers and how they were too good to ever do something like that. And now their major production of money comes from sex work. Oh, how the tables have turned. Yes, the T-board was very effective because these people were, they were extremely self-centered. So to hear someone's negative opinion and be posted online really did bother them, and they proceeded to take offense to it really easily. This would lead to a whole bunch of changes within YABDL, where YABDL basically called a truce amongst them and that group, and the two groups fused together, and they became way more trans inclusive. However, some members of YABDL that were a part of that at the time did not like the fact it became trans-inclusive and proceeded to leave the group permanently and espouse their anti-trans views, as you may have seen in my earlier talk about the AB Dreams and Little for Big controversy episode. Yeah, they used to be a part of that at one point. It's crazy, man. It's crazy to see how much the community has changed in such a short amount of time. I mean, I am nothing more than an observer of the times, and boy, have I observed some shit. Okay, let's not get off track here. So, right after the group fused together, they started doing the exact same bullying tactics. Now, there were two different types of bullying tactics. The first one was, like I said, pre fusion, which they would go online and be like, they would go into like personal boards and bully people. And like I said, there was a blind person on there who seemingly had a learning disability, and oh god, he ended up using the N-word multiple times and just acting like a complete dumbass. But like, they kind of started that, and they just started bullying this man because they didn't like him. But it wasn't just him. They would just go into random boards with people who have never done anything to them. And then they would just start like verbally assaulting these people online, and acted like complete total assholes, and then try to make it sound like they were the heroes trying to purge the community of these terrible people. But you yourself are a terrible person, so why the fuck are you trying to purge them of other terrible people when everyone has room to evolve and get better? There are people, like, in the community, we have to understand that. People do change. Some do not. Granted, some do not. But people can and do have the ability to change. The Abdulia group did not view that way, and they were very much hypocrites. Because they viewed it as, we have the ability to change, but you do not. Because we're above you and we're your betters. How the fuck are you someone's better when you're online bullying, bullying people in fucking personal boards? This type of behavior would then get these people banned from events like CapCon and TeddyCon. And for years they were banned from the events, but as a lot of them started changing the way that they acted and improving themselves, they started being allowed back at being allowed back at events. It was really shitty, to be completely honest. It was really shitty behavior by the community. By people in the community. Now, after seeing that the board was actually, the T-board was actually effective against YABDL and the people in it, or the Abdulia group, let's just say that, because not everybody on YABDL were terrible people. It was just mainly the Abdulias. After the Abdulia group, essentially, after it was seen that the T-board was effective against the Abdulia group, more T-boards started popping up online. More T-boards started popping up on both FetLife and Tumblr, mostly Tumblr. Tumblr would soon become the home for a lot of this, and in the community, they would just post their grievances about anybody that had any type of popularity in the community. The T-boards view themselves as the watchmen who watch the watchmen. It's because in their eyes, who watches the watchmen? That's their belief system is based on. And they believe that if they don't do it, no one else will. And there has to be someone to be there to keep these people honest, right? But in the same factor, they also take claims from just random people online, allow them to post anonymously, so people can just post whatever at any point in time. And that's not good, because there's no evidence to actually prove it. Sometimes there is evidence, but a lot of the cases there isn't. I've had to contact people about posts that I've seen on there recently, and I did research into a lot of this shit, and I don't know where half of these fucking claims come from. And recently, it's kind of funny, out of the 6 months that I was doing research on this fucking board, somebody actually said that. And they were like, I've never heard this claim any day in my life. Who was the person that was involved in this? And they're like, okay, but you know that this person's a terrible person, so you made up a claim because the person was already considered terrible? Fuck you. Yeah, no, get the fuck out of here. Like, this is the type of shit that I'm referring to. This is the type of shit slinging that leads to a lot of debaucherous, terrible shit in the community. And the only thing that these people can fucking say is, well, I'm doing it for the good of the community. Fuck you, no, you're not. You're doing it for the good of you. You're not doing it for the good of the community. The claim that you're doing it for the good of the community is horseshit. Let's just call it what it is. It's horseshit. And a lot of them have this self-aggrandizing view of themselves, but a lot of them are posting because they have, like, there's a self-aggrandizing view is that they're right and everybody else is wrong. How did we get here? How did we get to that thought process? Wasn't the whole point to this supposed to be the who watches the Watchmen? So then how did we get to I'm right, you're wrong? And then even when people come up with explain different shit, people still espouse the wrong things and the wrong claims without any evidence. So much of the T-board is built with no evidence. Oh my god, and a lot of speculation. And I would say that if you read shit on the T-board, take it with a grain of salt. A lot of the posts that you'll see on there, it has to do with a lot of people who have very, terrible views of themselves. And so what they do is that they try to use said terrible view as a reason for everyone to hate the person that they hate. And that's not good. It's a very terrible way to view something. And I always tell people that, don't listen or read the shit on those boards because they're usually nonsense. Case in point, right? Let's get to the T-boards. Let's talk about some of the shit on the T-boards. A lot of times they talk about people that they perceive they don't like their posts on Instagram. And I'm just going to respond to some of these because these are just fucking stupid. I'm not going to bring up the person because these people are already getting fucking bullied, right? But, for instance, these people will talk about, this one person on Instagram who I guess came out as a Trump supporter or some shit like that. Granted, if you come out as someone that is, full of hate, granted, I can't save you based on your own view, and especially if you're going to go online and tell everybody how you actually feel, right? I can't do anything about that. However, these people, ever since she did that, will just randomly throw out random hate shit against her. Now, mind you, she hasn't said anything other than the fact that she had supported them. And I'm just I don't know why the fuck you would put that down. That's like going online and just telling somebody you're a Nazi. That's fucking insane to me. But then the person is like, well, I'm hitting on hard times and I need money. Granted, I don't agree with your view. I'm probably not going to give you money, right? The T-board, on the other hand, is like, why the fuck does she always have to come on here and ask for money, huh? Why does she go out and get a real job? Case in point. It gets worse. Oh yes, because sometimes the T-boards will leap into things that are very 4chan, 8chan shit. What do these sex workers plan to do? What do these ABDL sex workers plan to do when they get old and crusty? They're already 30. When they hit their 40, no one's gonna fucking want them. And what are they going to do for money, huh? Because no one's going to buy their fucking content because no one cares about them anymore because they're old, crusty, and no one likes them. Hello, 4chan and 8chan. I see you're doing well. I see you know your 4chan and 8chan judo well. Okay. So, let's talk about that, right? Yo, dipshit. Question for you. Do you happen to know of a porn star by the name of Rachel Steele? Do you happen to know the porn star known as Rachel Steele? You don't? You should probably go and look her up. most of the shit that you've been gooning to from like 2006 all the way up to about current day that ever had to do with FL Diaper Girls or FL Baby Girl, whatever, it was one of the two. I think they had both names, actually. But, yeah. You remember that shit? Remember that? Those videos? Mm? And the Auntie Donna videos? Rachel Steele was Auntie Donna, dumbass. Rachel Steele is very much should be in her like mid to late 40s, early 50s. She still looks fucking good. And she still does taboo content. Like, she does, like, mother-son roleplay content. Like, she does taboo content. She's been doing it for years. People still, like, she still makes a shit ton of money off of it. And does really fucking well for the production and shit. She's been a porn star for, what, 20-odd years? Or so, if not more. And she's, like, in her 40s and 50s. I don't see a reason why she would be a problem. Fuck, I'm dating someone who's like 45, 46. She's not unattractive because she's 45, 46. Just because you've been red-pilled enough by fucking 8chan into believing that if you hit your 30s and don't get laid, that you'll shrivel up and die and nobody will want you and you'll just live in a lonely existence and nobody will ever see you ever again, doesn't mean that it's actually true. Grow the fuck up, motherfucker. Go outside, touch some grass. Stop talking to the fucking assholes online who enjoy fucking trolling you. Go outside, do something. Read a book, bitch. Read a book. Read a motherfucking book. Like, do something with your life. Because that's fucking a pathetic ass view. There is nothing wrong with any of these models getting older. Please. Some of them even have taken more mature looks to themselves. I don't know, like, Ella Rain, for instance, has done a more mature look. I've actually complimented her in person on that. Like, I love her more mature look over the look that she used to have. Not to say anything was wrong with her older look. It was just that her more mature look is really nice. Like, it's refreshing. Anyway, yeah, I don't understand what the fuck is wrong with any of you. Like, that's not how the world works. Let's continue on. What was another one? There was another good one. Oh yeah. Ooh, I get to talk about a couple that have to do with me. These were hilarious. I've met Lars or Kid Ankh, and he's very full of himself. Yes, I am. I am very full of myself. As a matter of fact, I call myself Dr. Doom on a daily basis, and I am referred to as the regent of the tri-state area as far as my local community is concerned. I know everybody. Everybody knows me. I do a lot of good work to try to help as many people as I can, while walking around with my makeshift title at kink events, while proclaiming myself as the leader of the ABDL Bullet Club, while doing Too Sweet with a whole bunch of my friends that I made at the con, going Too Sweet, up high, down low, back to back, and guns up. Yeah. I'm a wrestling fan. That's what I do. However, I can be a little bit more obnoxious if you like. Next time I'll bring a fucking my fucking WWE mic with me that comes with applause and boos, so I can actually have the crowd boo me for you, so that you could feel a little bit more self-aggrandized. If that helps. I'm a heel, so I expect to get booed. Anyway, continuing on. What was another one? Oh, this one. Yeah, I met him at Capcom. He obviously lavishes into the attention. That's because I'm the champion, motherfucker. And I don't see a title belt on you or any title that you fucking won. And my belt is undisputed, motherfucker. Do something about it. Face me for my title. Face me for my title. Bitch. Oh, God, I already talked about that. I think that was silly. This is the last one I'm going to talk about. This one, it was like, this one was about I heard that something had happened in his local community. He should step down to save face. Why? Leaders make mistakes. People make mistakes. That's why erasers are on pencils. And that's why we work hard to try to improve ourselves. That's the whole fucking point. If you have a leader that has never made a mistake, then they're lying to you. Like, mistakes have to be made in order for there to be a difference, in order for people to learn. Okay. Next. Okay. So we're going to talk about, what's the other one? There's another one here. Oh! This one was about two particular models that apparently had an issue with each other. Oh God. This was stupid. This was so stupid. Apparently two models that this one poster did Halloween posts. The third person that did the Halloween post got mad and they were like, oh my God, why the fuck did this person do it? I love these two's posts, but this person, oh my God, they're just copying them now. I don't understand why the fuck they're doing this. Okay. So, Halloween posts are normal. I don't know why this person is flipping out over this. And this is, again, why I tell people to go outside and touch fucking grass. Touch grass. You need to touch grass, because if you don't, you start losing yourself to the internet. Okay, so why the fuck does it matter whether you like the post or not? Other people might have liked the post, and because that person got attention and you didn't, that's why. I don't know. Like, what is it exactly that you self-perceive as a slight here? This is one of those things that make me go, this is fucking stupid. This is one of those things where I personally think that the people need to, like, sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. Like, it is completely unnecessary for you to go out there and fucking start espousing nonsense like this. Like, it is completely unnecessary. Do not do stupid shit like this. Then there are other reasons where people just start talking shit on one another. I even saw a post where someone pointed out that one of the models doesn't believe herself to be black. And I'm like, what? Like, that's a personal opinion that I would never post online, ever. Because, like, especially on a board that is more than likely filled with more white people posting than anything else. That was the gross comment. That is like, oof. I don't know who it was that posted that, and I was just like, yeah, that was bad. That was a shit take. As a fellow black person, if you're not black, you should not be making that comment. Let me just tell you right now. If you are not black, then you should not be making that comment. And when you are black, make sure that you, yeah. Like that was just bad. That was stupid as fuck. Oh my God. So, there are a lot of comments and shit that have been made on those boards that are just fucking stupid. And, like, a lot of drama gets spread on there. But here were my favorites of one. While I was researching, understand this, I was researching for 6 months. I did not post on these blogs at all. I do not participate in nonsense like this. I personally think that this shit is way too hurtful and way too damaging to the community. There is a lot of shit that were posted on there that made me go, what the fuck? I had someone to go on the board to call me out on the board. Like, oh Lord, I cannot express how cartoonish this motherfucker was. First off, They called me a coward and called a whole bunch of other people a coward and said they know that I was posting on there. And I'm like, why would I post on there when I have a forum of my own? Fuck, I don't think I've ever strayed away from talking shit if it was well deserved. So why would I post on this board to hide in anonymity? It doesn't make any sense. I was like, if anything, I am technically the firebrand. It's like, I don't get it. This was stupid. This was a stupid take by a stupid person. Oh, Lord. So they started going off against me, against Kawhi, against, like, all these people, and then talking in the third person the entire time, and dragging all these people in for the attention. Now, granted, I know who the person is. I know who the person is. This person made such of a clown of themselves because the people on the board started making fun of them and was like, yo, why are you posting here? And why are you pretending to be another person? Why, like, they're like, I don't understand why they're posting on here. And I'm talking, this is the person talking in the third person. They started going, I don't know why they're posting on here. Why don't they come and face me in the light? I straight up was laughing so hard. I cried. I almost had to go to the hospital because I legitimately thought I was going to rupture something in my stomach. Oh my gosh, this was so cartoonish. It was almost them doing the scene from I Know What You Did Last Summer, where they were like, why don't you come out here and face me? That's what it was. And I was like, why are you on here? Why are you espousing this? And then they started posting things that were just cartoonishly funny. Like, when I tell you funny, I mean funny. They were like, I am a strong, powerful, smart, and intelligent person. Okay. I don't know why you dropped the third person for that, but that's fine. Also, what? What? Like, why are you espousing that to these random fucking people online? I was baffled because I was like, what is happening? I was like, what is this? Okay, whatever. They just went the fuck off and accused me of random shit. There was an accusation of doxing that gave out who the fuck this person was. There was an accusation that saying that I had doxed them, which A, I don't know where the fuck they live. B, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And C, we don't talk. So where did any of this come from? And they were making accusations about me releasing, I guess I did some revenge porn thing at Capcom. Mind you, I'm thinking to myself, when the fuck did I do that? Like, I posted the episode on YouTube, and I don't know what the fuck. Like, what? It was so weird. It was so weird. We were like, they are solely convinced that I talked about just them during my POC, like the POC experience episode that I did at Capcom this year. They were so convinced of this. And I'm just like, no, you had nothing to do with this. You still have nothing to do with this. Why are you convinced of this? They're bullying me! No, I'm not. I haven't said anything to you. I only said that I personally think that you should probably stop because I think that you're out of control. I don't know where the bullying part came from. But oh Lord, they really believe this shit. and have been saying as much. They have been espousing this nonsense ever since, and I'm just like, yeah, this is stupid. I'm just gonna straight out say this is stupid, and they definitely need to be hospitalized or something. I personally think that they need to be sitting in a padded room and getting help, because obviously this person is unhinged and needs some type of help. The like I don't know why this accusation keeps coming up. I have not doxed anybody and would not ever dox anybody because that is dangerous. I am a sex worker along with a lot of other people, and doxing is extremely dangerous and can put lives in danger. We do not dox in this community. And I have made multiple posts even saying this, so I don't know where the fuck this person is getting this nonsense from, other than the fact of themselves. Because they also cut and edited an episode of my podcast and tried to claim that I said that I was going to dox them at some point, when that is not what I said. And they were saying that I was going to do this to destroy their talking point. When you watch the episode, you can clearly hear me say that if someone was to bring up their stuff, it would destroy their talking point. So I don't know where the fuck they're getting this from, and I personally think that they need to go and get some type of mental help. I know that they're probably going to start screaming when they hear this episode, but for the love of God, go and seriously go and see an actual physician instead of going online and pretending that you're and scapegoating everyone into, I wouldn't even say scapegoating. No, instead of going online and suicide baiting it so that you can claim that you are going to, and then claim that you're going to the hospital when you obviously are not. Because if you were, they would not let you out. For a person like myself, I really get tired of nonsense like this, because, specifically this, because suicide baiting is really shitty. It's really shitty behavior. And for someone like myself who I lost my partner to suicide, I would never tell someone to go kill themselves. I would never tell anybody to that is having a hard time of anything like that. I would never be an asshole to someone. I will always tell you, if you are really having those type of feelings, please go and get help. The woman I love died after she hung herself. I don't try to bring this up a lot because I'm not really over it. I don't think I'll ever be over it. I still hold on, you don't know what it's like to have to go and clean out your partner's apartment, or her house, actually, because she had a house. Her house that she was working on, that she was making into an awesome home. And you have to carry out boxes of her things and listen to a will that she left behind for you. A message that she left behind for you. You don't know what it's like when you have to deal with something like that. And to have this person go out there and constantly suicide bait for attention is and for clout is really gross. I hate that type of behavior. I will never be okay with that type of behavior, and I will constantly speak out against doing shit like that. Every fucking day I have to live with the fact that my partner is not here anymore, and it sucks. Okay, I'm glad I got that off my chest. Continuing on. God. There are so many accusations on here, on this board, that is just intensely gross. Some of these, I know, are sex workers that are posting these against other sex workers. And that's even shittier behavior. That is even shittier behavior. The T-board, in one case in my local community, the gossip T-board was actually used to abuse that you remember. So the T-board was, someone was posting on the T-board and just bullying somebody in my local community, right? And this person has, like I said, they have mental health issues. The person that was posting it was their own abusive partner, was posting in the fucking chat. And using this against them and driving them fucking crazy so that they could take advantage of them. And that's gross as fuck. That is gross as fuck. I cannot stand shit like this. But the T-boards do not moderate well enough for that to be a problem. The only time that the T-boards care is when it's racist or transphobic. Or slut shaming. Other than that, yeah, it's free reign. We don't care if you fucking harm somebody, which is a terrible fucking way to go about something, isn't it? Like, there is no reason for the T-boards to be like that, and the reason that's the exact reason why I said this is the way I said it. They don't care about that. They don't give a fuck. Like, it's just, it's bad. It's really fucking bad. Like, they do not care if it's used for bullying. They do not. Even though they claim that the boards were originally supposed to be their way of them watching the Watchmen. Again, it's a stupid concept that it doesn't go anywhere. A lot of the sex workers I can see post a lot of shit about each other on there. A lot of the accusations stir from one fucking place, I noticed. Like, and I don't know if anybody else caught on to this, but I did. A lot of the grievances that are on there are towards people that live in Colorado or people from the Colorado community. And it is basically the catty behavior of the Colorado community sex workers that are posting on these boards, making accusations and claims against each other. Which, in my personal opinion, Colorado really does need to clean up their community. This is why people in that community are leaving. Because they can't take the nonsense anymore. And a lot of the sex workers do not believe in helping each other. They only believe in using each other. You're only as good as essentially as far as one's use goes for one's personal plans. That's really shitty. That's really fucking shitty. It's the same thought process that the fucking Abdulia group used to have about the people in the community. And again, the community could be a shit ton better, but it's just not. Like, everyone is so self-centered and only thinking of themselves. They don't believe in actually helping one another. Which, I kind of want to talk to that, because on, like, my sister used to do stripping. And or exotic dancing, either one that you want to call it. My sister, while she was a stripper, used to talk about, like, how when she went in there, when she first went in years ago, it was very much a business of, if I do well, we all do well. Where if one person is doing well that night, they try to spread the wealth by getting other girls to be able to get some money from clients in there, and they will go out there to try to help them out and boost them. And it's fucking awesome. That is an awesome way to go about doing something. That is a very awesome way. Over time, it mutated into, fuck you, I got mine. And I remember when my sister went back to just doing stripping for a bit, it wasn't really for the money. She just felt like she wanted to do it at some point. Went back, and the girls were so catty towards one another, and the behavior behind the scenes was just so bad. And my sister made a comment to all the girls where she just said, hold on, wait a minute. Why the fuck are you all acting like this? And they're like, well, this bitch is trying to take my money and blah, blah, blah. And so my sister was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's do that again. Understand this. You all should be helping each other. Because when one of us do well, all of us do well. That's how you make the money. And the reason why, like, and you can keep yourself fresh by using, by helping other people get, get some attention. Then you guys can do more stuff. By keeping it all to yourself, you're going to get stale, and then the money's going to stop coming to you as well. The idea is, you're supposed to wingman for the other people as well as yourself. And they wingman for you. That's how we work it. That's how we're supposed to do it. You all are just thinking of yourselves, and I don't know why. In the ABDL community, yeah, that's a very true statement. Because a lot of the sex workers will not answer questions about sex work. If you were to ask them, the first thing they'll say is, you're going to have to figure it out on your own. Because I had to figure it out on my own. Which is a really shitty way to go about that. Like, why are we not working together? Why are we not learning together? Why can't you make it easier for the other girls to be able to figure certain things out? Why are we only going with the idea that only one way is possible, and that's for them to go through the same hardship you did? See, some of the sex workers will probably respond to this like, well, no one helped me. Yeah, no one helped you. Don't you? But if you were to replay that now, right, and you didn't have the experience, wouldn't you want someone to help you? Well, yeah. If you were beginning out, wouldn't you want someone to help you? Yeah. So then why are you denying that to all the other girls because there was no one to help you start out when you first started? That's a very shit take to have. And by all means, I think that you should have a better take than what you do. It's wrong for you to just decide that because you went through hardship, everybody else has to go through it too. Instead of being like, I'm going to make it easier for some of these other people because I didn't have X, Y, and Z when I started, but I want them to have X, Y, and Z when they start so that they have an easier time and that they can grow and maybe we can work together at some point in the future. But no one thinks about that because everyone is extremely fucking self-centered. It's a really shit way to go about shit in the community. And I keep saying that. I keep expressing that. Do not go and start espousing nonsense because you feel a certain type of way. We're better than this. And that's how it should be. Now, funny enough, the not answering questions thing with a lot of the people in the community as far as like sex work and stuff, this is why sex workers are viewed the way they are viewed. They are viewed as like celebrities in the community because they were able to break a ceiling that no one else was able to break. And it's really shitty because there are sex worker workshops that I've been to, right? Like I've been to swoop events, SWOP. And I'm going to be honest with you. Whenever I attend those events, I try to give as much help out to the people that in the knowledge that I know about sex work as best as I can. On like the stuff that I've learned that works. Now, are we all in the ABDL profession? No, we're not. But we can still learn from we can still learn from each other based on what we have learned in the community. Hence why I'm saying what I'm saying. Like, we can learn to work together. There is no reason that we couldn't learn to work together. But so many people are already ready to set how badly they feel slighted. And that's a problem. That's a serious fucking issue. We should be working together to try to make the community better. And I guarantee you a lot of the posts on those boards would stop if people would be a lot more forthcoming and being nice to one another. Guaranteed. Because a lot of those people feel slighted by those people that they see online. That's just how they see it. That's just how it is. So, what can we do to make the community better? And I had to think long and hard on this. Out of the 6 months that I was online reading this nonsense, I realized that the best way for us to go about forward in the community is to paying a lot of shit forward. We need to start trying to help one another, making people feel welcome in the community. And I don't mean like, oh, we should just make all the creeps and weirdos feel welcome. No, if someone's just socially awkward, make them feel welcome. Because a lot of cases, people are just socially awkward. There are a lot of socially awkward people out there. People that were developmentally stunted years ago. And they are trying their best to succeed at life today. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. People are just trying to just get by. We should be working together to try to make the community as accepting and as welcoming as possible. So, I would like to leave that with this. Be the change you want to see. In a lot of cases in this community, the reason why things are not changing and they're stagnant as they are right now is that no one is being forthcoming or moving forward. Everyone is expecting someone else to do it. Someone with a little more clout. But the truth is that the job is for everyone. It's not just for just one person. It's for everybody. Be the change you want to see. Go out there. Be friends with, make friends. Make people feel welcome. Teach them ropes. Let them know what, you gotta, you can't just expect every person to jump into the ring and know how to box. You gotta teach them the basics. You gotta teach them footwork. You gotta teach them to bob and weave. Then you teach them how to punch. You teach them how to dodge. Then you teach them how to punch. Be the change you want to see. So many times that we do so much in this community, we never actually take the minute to think about how we affect it, how we what our footprint is on the community. And a lot of times we don't care about that footprint. We only care about what we ourselves get out of it. But we have to care about our footprint. We have to care about what we do in this community. Because everything that we do has some type of consequence, especially when you have clout in the community. Hence why I do what I do the way that I do it. I always stand as the upperclassman and try to teach everybody else how I would go about it. They're not obligated to do the same thing that I do. But I try to lead by example. And that's what we should do. Be the change you want to see. Too many times do we sit there and we get so comfortable with those that enjoy our content and enjoy us in general. Do we actually not realize that sometimes we can espouse toxicity? That we are not trying to be forward or helpful with the community. I'm guilty of that too. But we need to start moving forward with trying to improve the community. We're not going to be here all the time. And that's the way I view it every day. Is that if tomorrow's my last day, this last day that it's speaking, last day of the podcast, last day of my life, how did I leave this community? Did I just increase the toxicity, or did I try to change it? Did I try to lead by example by helping out with different events and stuff like that? Did I try to put a positive message forward? These are the things I think about. And I think about how that would affect everybody. Be the change you want to see. I don't think that any other better words have ever been spoken in this community. Being change for the better, for the better good, is always worthwhile. And we always want to see more from our community. We want to know that people are better and are doing better. That people are better people because of the fact that they're willing to work together, versus those that are more so interested in just the clout or the power. I try to use my clout and power to help boost those in the community, not make them fall further down. Be the change you want to see. When it comes to having clout and power in the community, or popularity for that matter, use it to boost and help other people, like, make friends. Like, let them, like, try to get to know some of the people and actually try to show them the ropes, like I said earlier. Show them the right way. We too often just are very careless and only give a damn about ourselves. We are very selfish babies. Funny. Pun intended. We can do better. We are better. We are better than this. Always remember that. That does it for today's episode of the Ankh Ageplay Podcast. Thank you for joining us for this episode. I really appreciate all the support and love that you guys give me over the years. I have a lot of current projects coming up, and I've been working with the community nationally, if that makes sense. Recently, I've been putting a lot of my efforts into helping start a convention and giving my expertise in where I can. I want us to grow and create a better community. One that's safe, loving, and respectful. Will you help me do that? I don't ask as just Kid Ankh or Lars Alistair. I ask as a friend to this community. Help me bring change. Be the change you want to see. I'll catch you guys later, and I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.